Hey everybody, it's Mr. Howes, and I want to quickly share a book with you, Fast Break by Mike Lupica. And this is a sports book. I don't often read sports books, but anytime I pick something up by Mike Lupica, I get through it very, very quickly because I just can't put it down. And this one, as you can tell, is a well-worn copy because I've read it and so many students have read it. So you can see it's kind of falling apart and the front's ripping there. So signs of a good book, a very well-worn book. So this book follows a kid named Jason, and he's 11 or 12 years old. I forget the exact age. Now his mother dies, and he doesn't notify anyone that she has passed away. Her boyfriend arranged all of the proceedings after her death, her legal proceedings, except anything to do with Jason. And the boyfriend left, so he is living at home by himself and not telling anyone this because he's a star basketball player on his team, and he doesn't want to be removed from his house and possibly be taken to somebody else's home and thus somebody else's school. As you can guess, this doesn't really last very long. This plan does not really last very long. And I want to read you a part that kind of gets the process rolling into getting him into a new home. Since he's by himself and he's just a young kid, he doesn't have a job. So if he really needs something like food or basketball shoes because his shoes are falling apart, then he takes it. And this is what happens when he tries to take a pair of shoes from Foot Locker. Jason tried the Adidas back on, shook his head, put the Zooms on, and frowned. Duran, the sales clerk, seemed to be losing interest. There were other people waiting to be helped. "Can I try the next half size up?" Jason asked, "just so I can make sure." "Let me make sure we've got them," Duran said. Now Duran was the one looking toward the back of the store. Jason turned and looked at the front door, saw a man and a woman about to come through it with their daughter. Now. This was like an opening in a game, the daylight you got between defenders, one that opened fast and closed even faster. He walked toward the exit, telling himself not to hurry, and held the door open for the little girl. The mom said, "Oh, thank you. Maybe manners aren't dead in our little town after all." "You're welcome." Jason kept his head down and waited for the whole family to enter, then calmly walked out the door like he was on the court, using them as a screen. Not even breathing now. He'd scoped out Main Street before entering the store, knew that the closest side street was to his left when he got out on the sidewalk. He'd seen that there was a pretty long block once you turned the corner, with more side streets splitting off from there. Jason walked left, heart pounding, still telling himself not to hurry, when what he really wanted to do was run. The one thing he'd stopped to do once he got outside was to pull down his sweatpants so they'd cover the white of the new sneakers, which he imagined were brighter than the headlights on a car. Once he made the left at the corner, then he was going to run to use his speed when he needed it the most. Almost there. And that's when he felt a large hand clamp down on his shoulder. "Where do you think you're going, son?" the man's voice said. Jason turned around to find a tall, white-haired man. He wasn't wearing a striped shirt, just a short-sleeved one that said Foot Locker on the front, and underneath that, manager. Check it out. It's a wonderful book. If you don't like reading about sports or basketball, I think you'll still really, really like it. But if you do like reading about sports, and particularly basketball, I can pretty much guarantee you're going to like this one. Fast Break, Mike Lupica.